drugs. A lot of people take them, and some of them use the pagan tradition, the pre-Christian traditions, as an excuse to take drugs, claiming it's something spiritual. But is it? Let's find out. When you take some certain types of drugs, you have an increased activity in your brain. I don't remember exactly how the percentage we use of our brain in the ordinary life, but it's dramatically increased when you take some drugs. And this is interpreted by many as being meaning that when they take drugs they are more intelligent and they see more, and it's something spiritual. But this is absolute nonsense. If you have an epileptic seizure, you have activity in 100% of your brain. And as you know, there's nothing spiritual about it. It just means that it's a complete short circuit. It's a complete malfunction of the brain. But you have 100% activity. So the argument that you have increased activity in your brain when you take certain drugs, that this is enhancing your intellectual capabilities or something, it's absolute bollocks. It is true though that our forebears used drugs just like we do today. You know, medicinal drugs. For example, if a woman had problems giving birth, they would give her a little bit of alcohol. It's tranquilizing a part of your brain, and it turns you more animalistic. And that's what you need to be if you're giving birth. So they gave a little bit of alcohol if, and I stress that, if she didn't give birth normally, or if she had problems giving birth. When you find hemp seeds in a burial mound, it doesn't mean that they smoked hashish or pot. It means simply that they had hemp seeds. And they also had all sorts of other plants and seeds, and they used this for medicinal purposes. They were not taking this as a recreational activity, and there was nothing spiritual about it. It was a purely medicinal use. And you can always argue that maybe one or two of these forebears were junkies, just like some people are today, but that is not a part of our culture. That's not the point. Those who do that are the malfunctioning people, those who don't understand how to use medicines. So taking drugs for medicinal purposes is fine, and was fine at the time. Taking drugs for recreational purposes was never fine, not then and not now. Taking drugs for spiritual purposes never existed. The only thing you experience when you take drugs that gives you visions or something, that is your brain is pulling your leg. It's short-circuiting, and you have visions of things that are not real and that will never be real. It's just a short circuit of your brain, just like an epileptic seizure. So there is no excuse to take drugs for other than medicinal purposes, and our forebears never appreciated anybody who did. And I don't think we should either. If you think that you can use our forebears' medicinal use of drugs as an excuse for you to use them for recreational purposes, then you're simply wrong. And a pagan had honor as the foundation of his worldview. There is no honor in taking drugs for recreational purposes, or to think that you experience something spiritual by fooling your brain with chemicals. So, as I see it, if you are taking drugs for recreational purposes, then you're not following the traditions of our forebears. You're not doing the right thing. You are, to put it bluntly, a weak person. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.